What's up guys, Traum here, and this time we'll focus on the Continental bosses in Dragonheir Season 2. There is 6 of them, and for each one I will show you the mechanics and my teams, but don't worry, I will always show at least 100% free-to-play team for each boss. And the first one I would like to start with is Grishnaar, because I think it's the easiest one. Especially for the free-to-play teams, you know, that team is very easy to build, so let's go right into it.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go.
Alright guys, welcome to the Continental challenge. As I said, we will start with Grishnaar because he's the easiest one. So let's go over his mechanic first. So crit damage dealt by allies is increased by 100%. Amazing. This is already a huge hint what you should be using. Because in Season 2, in Dragonheir, the Iceblast heroes, they do crazy amount of crit damage. But don't worry, I have a free-to-play team for you, that's Iceblast. So you will see, and that team can do a lot of damage. So get ready for it. Next part is each time a buff is dispelled from or blocked on an enemy, allies gain one undispellable stack of 10% attack up, lasting indefinitely, up to 10 stacks. So this way, if you block or dispel a buff on the enemy, on a Grishnaar, you get 10% attack up, all the way to 100%, you know, this is amazing. And then each hero can only be deployed once per round. Perfect. Alright, so let's go over his battle skills and ultimates. On a passive, the hero takes 50% less non-crit damage, so you want to build everybody with 100% crit rate, especially the damage dealers, right? Then on his battle skill, he gains 30% attack up, 40% damage up, and defense up to for 10 seconds, so you definitely want someone who does buff prohibition or dispel debuffs. And there is one free legendary hero that everybody should be using, probably. And then on his ultimate, he deals lightning damage to all enemies with 100% chance of inflicting defense penalty 2 for 10 seconds. So maybe you want some cleanser or debuff immunity champion as well. So let's go through my teams. I will start with the normal team first, and then I will show you my free-to-play team. Alright, so first this is my normal team for the Grishnaar. As you see, I'm using Gillian. Amazing hero because on her ultimate she heals, she has defense up 2 and dispels 1 debuff. So pretty good. If she will counter Grishnaar, the defense penalty that he does on his ultimate. The next hero is Vinera, and that's the hero I was talking about. She's insanely good for this boss. And she's a free legendary hero from Season 1. And she's amazing because of her ultimate. She's dispelling all their buffs and reducing the ultimate energy by 100%. And you know that this boss, he puts a lot of buffs on him on the battle skill. And this way, you set because Vinera will steal all of them. So you don't need to, you don't care about it. She's amazing. She's really, really good for this boss. The next heroes I'm using are the Iceblast heroes, the legendary. So I'm using Shina, I'm using Zorak, and I'm using Berdila. All three Iceblast heroes. They are insanely good for this boss. So let me show you the builds real quick. I will start with Gillian. So I have a build with 72k HP, 2.7k defense, 268 enlightenment. I'm using the Ancestor Protection for HP defense and decrease the Weaver damage taken by 10%, you know, while 15% of all damage is transferred to her. Then I'm using the Mirror of the Living on her, but you can also use something like Solar Killing Horn. Maybe I will use it for this one as well, because every time she heals, she puts more attack up for my heroes. So I will start using this one, because I'm pretty good with the healing. So Solar King or the Mirror of the Living, amazing on her. Now let's go over Vinera. My Vinera has 58k HP, 3.2k attack, 314 accuracy. And I'm using the Emissary Whisper on her for the accuracy, skill haste, and when the Weaver successfully inflicts a debuff, all allies deal 10% more damage for 10 seconds. And that is amazing because she will do a lot of debuffing, right? She put the attack penalty on a boss and she will do it quite often because I'm using the Hourglass on her. Because this way, this gives me accuracy and 100% extra skill haste. And this is amazing because this way she will cast like two times before the boss does the ultimate. So she will reset him twice before one ultimate. And that's huge. That's really, really big. So that's my Vinera. Now let's go to my DPS. Let's start with Berdila. She has 60k HP, 5.7k attack, 95% crit rate, and 211 crit damage. Don't worry about the crit rate because Zorak gives you crit rate and Shina gives you crit rate as well. So you will have plenty of crit rate. And she will convert the excess crit rate into crit damage, which means even more damage in this boss. Because this boss receives even more, right, from crit damage. So Berdila, amazing for this. I have her build with the Forbidden Edges. Gives me attack, crit rate, and when casting a battle skill or ultimate skill, the Weaver deals 6% more damage for 10 seconds, up to 4 stacks. Very good for Iceblast heroes because they quite often cast their battle skill twice because of the ice crystals. You know, if they have 3 or more ice crystals, they usually cast their battle skill twice. And then for the artifact, I'm using the Manticore statue because it gives me attack percentage, and the Weaver battle skill gains 20% more damage. And she does most of the damage comes from the battle skill, right? So that's what I'm using. I'm still waiting for her banner, which will come in like 2 or 3 weeks, and then I will go for her and I will get the exclusive artifact. But I don't have it yet, so I'm using this one, the Manticore statue, because I think it does the most damage, especially against bosses. Now let's go to Zorak. I will build with 40k HP, 4.9k attack, 56 or 58, almost 58% crit rate, and then 216 crit damage. I'm using the Dawnpipe Organ on him, so he will be boosting Shinnok damage as well. And I'm using all the not legendary, all the mythical gears on him. So I'm using Fearless Challenger, I'm using the Imposing Presence, I'm using Slightly Unprepared, and I'm using the Chaos Symbiosis for a lot of damage. And he can do crazy amount of damage, you will see. And now, last hero, Shinnok, 51k HP, 4.4k attack, and 274 accuracy. I'm using Which Remains on her, and she will inflict the boss with defense penalty. So that is why she doesn't have that much attack or anything. I'm focusing more on accuracy to land the defense penalty from the Which Remains. Also, I'm using the Property Inspiration. Use accuracy, resistance, and when the Weaver casts an ultimate skill, allies of the same element gain 10% ultimate energy. So this way, she will boost the ultimate energy of all my heroes. And for the legendary or for the mythical gear, I'm using the Magic Crystal Refinement, because the Weaver gains additional attack equal to 300% of the current accuracy. This is amazing because I already have a build with accuracy, so this way she will get even more damage. So that's the team. I will show you the skill timings. Let me save the horn on Gillian. Now I'll show you the skill timings. So nothing in here, but what you can do is you can cast Gillian after the boss, but since Vinyara is pushing his ultimate quite a bit, twice, it's not even necessary because she will have plenty of time to cast her ultimate twice before the boss does the ultimate. So you will see. So I'm not even using any skill timings for this one, for this stage. And for the surge, it's up to you. I'm using the tidal surge, but maybe you can use the other surge. Try it. You will see if there's more damage, less damage. It really depends on how far are you on your island, how built it is. I'll currently max everything, but I'm still using the tidal surge. So let's go to the run. And one more thing, I'm using the Beldile Aura, right? The 24% attack in all battles. And now finally we can start. I know. A lot of talking. I'm really sorry. As you see, Vinyara cast it before the battle skill of Grishnaar, so he wasn't even able to do battle skill, and now she resets him even again. So it's 2 resets before he does the one ultimate. Amazing. As you can see, Beldile, she's destroying the boss already. She's doing almost 500k damage per second. Zorak is right behind her with 300 now, it jumped, 300k damage per second. And Shinnok with 140. But don't worry, these numbers will go up, you will see. We will get more attack and we will start doing even more damage. Beldile can sometimes reach around 1 million damage per second. She's insanely good. Really good hero for this. So you will reach 200 million damage almost immediately. It's 2 minutes in and I'm at 120 million damage. But at 200 million damage, the bosses will reduce damage taken by 80%. I think maybe even more, but I think it's 80%. So it will start slowing down a lot. So my team is able to reach around 240 million damage, 230, something like that. You will see. Now we are hitting the mark, the 200 million damage mark. And now the damage will start falling. You will see. You know, Beldile was at 800k damage per second, and now we start dropping to 750. Soon it's gonna be at 700. As you see, the numbers are not going up as much as I would like to see, but it's still good. Like, getting over 200 million damage is amazing, guys. Especially if you can do it with free-to-play teams, that's amazing. And I have 2 free-to-play teams, not for Grishnaar. For Grishnaar I have decent free-to-play team, but they are different boss. But I have free-to-play team that can reach 200 million damage almost. That's amazing. For free-to-play, really good. So stay tuned for different bosses. I'll have a free-to-play teams for you guys that can definitely do 200 million damage or really close to 200 million damage. So don't worry if you don't have all these heroes. Maybe you only have Shinnok and Zorak. Still use them. I know Beldile is the main DPS, but even without her, you can still use Shinnok on Zorak and you will do a lot of damage. Or if you don't have Shinnok, still use Zorak and Beldile, different combinations of this team, and you will still reach 200 million damage. I'm 100% sure about it. Now we are reaching 228. This is not the best run. My best run was around 240 million damage. which I don't think we'll reach this time. It's gonna be like 235, maybe 234, 236, something like that. 3 seconds left, 2 seconds left, and we're done. So 235 million damage. Not the best, not the worst, but it's not the 100% free-to-play team as you see. This is not that easy to achieve with normal teams, but pretty good. So if you need some Iceblast heroes, some team for Grishnaar, definitely use Iceblast heroes. That's what I'm trying to say. And now let's go to my free-to-play team. You'll be surprised, this team can do a lot of damage, you will see. So for this one, I'm using Alpha Narsi, a free legendary hero for season 2 from the chapters. And I have him built with 95k HP, 3.1k attack, defense, 245 enlightenment. I'm using the Brotherhood Spirit on him for the defense, and when the Weaver casts an ultimate skill, our allies' elemental damage dealt increased by 15%. And also I'm using the Devout Prayer on him as well. When the Weaver grants shield, the target deals 12% more damage, and he does a lot of shielding on his ultimate. He shields everybody on the field. Really good free legendary hero. Then I'm using Vinyara, same build as I used before. I'm using, oh no, it is a bit different, I'm sorry. In here I am using the Magic Crystal Refinement for more damage from accuracy. I'm using the Puppeteer Inspiration for the accuracy, resistance, and when the Weaver casts an ultimate skill, allies of the same element gain 10% ultimate energy. And then I'm using the Spiritual Isis Burner because this way it boosts her ultimate energy. Increase the Weaver ultimate energy by 9% after unleashing ultimate skill. So it's like a mini Hourglass. You will see because I'm using Hourglass or Blood-In, and this is amazing. Because on his ultimate, he grants crystals, right, to enemy. You will see here, grants 20% attack for 10 seconds and 2 stacks of ice crystal to the hero and the Iceblast ally with the highest attack. This is why I want him to cast as much as possible, right? So he will generate a lot of crystals for me. Because usually Shinnok is the best hero for generating ice crystals, but Blood-In can do similar job, right? So that's why I'm using the Hourglass on him to cast his ultimate as much as possible to generate as many crystals as possible, right? And for the gear, I'm using all the mythical gears. So I'm using the Fearless Challenger, I'm using the Imposing Presence, Strike the Unprepared, and the Chaos Symbiosis. And I have him built with 46k HP, 3.4k attack, 80% crit rate, and 208 crit damage. 80 crit rate is fine, because on his battle skill, he gains 20% more crit chance, and on his ultimate, he does the same thing. So 80% crit rate is all you need on Blood-In, because of these boosting, the crit rate boost on his battle skill ultimate. Next hero is Voresh. Very good because he puts the buff prohibition and he can heal. This team doesn't have a dedicated healer, but Voresh can heal you. You will see on his passive, right? He heals the ally with the lowest current HP by 70% attack when dealing damage. So anytime he deals damage, he heals the ally with the lowest HP. And my Voresh is built with almost 58k HP, 1500 defense, 2.8k attack, 314 accuracy, and almost 40 skill haste. I'm using the Witch Remains on him because on his ultimate he does 3 hits, he hits everyone, he puts buff prohibition, very good hero for Witch Remains. And for gear, I'm using the Emissary Whisper, and then I'm using the Fight Poison with the Poison. So when a Weaver is inflicted with negative effect, there is a 50% chance of inflicting recharging speed penalty on the enemy that inflicts it, right? So this way he will inflict recharging speed penalty on a boss every time he puts the defense penalty on me. Pretty good, not the most important. I'm using mostly for the accuracy, so it's up to you the last gear that you use on your Voresh. And now the main DPS for this team is, I can't remember her name, I'm really sorry, is Gerdin. Really good DPS for this boss. So I have her built with 64k HP, 1400 defense, 6.1k attack, only 67 crit rate, and then 164 crit damage. The crit rate is fine because on her battle skill, she gains 20% crit rate up for 5 seconds. So this way, she's at 86. I wish I can put it to 80% crit rate. I'm not able to do it with the gear that I have in my mind, with the damage and stuff like that. So that's one thing that you can improve. If you can build her with 100% crit rate and keep the attack and crit damage, you're gonna be set. You will be reaching almost 200 million damage, I'm pretty sure. And for the gear, I'm using the Downpipe Organ to boost the Blood-In damage. And then I'm using Heart of the Gambler for the attack and the attack speed. Then I'm using the Strike the Unprepared, and the last thing is the Fearless Challenger. Maybe I can, use something else instead of downpipe organ. Maybe I can use like the Manticore statue. Maybe I can use the arcane music box. It gives me crit rate, stuff like that. But I'm trying the downpipe organ to boost the other heroes' damage, and it is working. You will see. So that's the team. I don't think I'm using any skill timings. As you see, I'm using Voresh skill timing. So he's casting at 21 seconds. That's right after the boss, because he's not able to cast the buff prohibition at 9 seconds or before 9 seconds. So this is why I'm waiting for the boss to do his ultimate. And after the ultimate, I'm start using the Voresh ultimates to put the buff prohibition, so he's not gaining the buff. So only the first interval of the boss, he will get these insane buffs on him. But after that, you're fine. And the Voresh is good because on his battle skill, he can also dispel these buffs, right? So if he casts his battle skill after the battle skill of the boss, he can steal these buffs. You will see here, deals 120% attack core damage to the enemy 3 times. When dealing damage, has 50% scroll to 60% chance of dispelling one buff from them. So he can dispel the boss buffs, right? So that's the only skill timing I'm using. And then for the aura, I'm using the Bloodin's aura, the 18% max HP for all battles. So let me start. As you see, Bloodin immediately casts and he's generating a lot of crystals, so we're fine. And Gardin is already doing 100k damage per second. That's pretty good at the start for epic hero. Already at 150 now, and you see we are flying through. Now my Voresh is fine, everything is fine. He should be casting right now. Come on Voresh, cast, put the buff prohibition. Perfect. Now the boss is not able to gain his buffs. Makes him much weaker, right? And Vinyara is pushing the ultimate energy of the Grishnaar, or whatever his name is, the boss. Gardin already at 200 plus k damage per second, and Bladin is right behind with 120k damage per second. So that's pretty good. For epic heroes, really good. So I will skip this. I will show you the end, like the last minute, and you will see the damage that this team can do. Alright guys, we are almost at the end. We have 1 minute and 20 seconds left, and Gardin is almost at 300k damage per second. That's pretty good for epic hero, really good. And Bloodin is right behind with 160k damage per second. We are reaching 150 million damage, still have 50 seconds left. So I hope it's gonna be like 130, 140. Because the highest one I reached was 148 or almost 150 million damage. So it's not gonna be the best one. You can definitely reach a little bit higher. But this team is really good. If you can build this team with a little bit more damage, you have a 100% free-to-play team that can do almost 150 million damage, which I think is really good. For 100% free-to-play team, pretty solid, I would say. It's really hard to compare these free-to-play teams versus like the normal teams, right? Because it's really hard for free-to-play teams to reach that amount of damage, like to reach 220 million damage, stuff like that. But 145 for 100% free-to-play team, I don't think that's bad. In my opinion, that's pretty good. And don't forget, if you have, I don't know, if you have Bloodin and you have Bardila, you can use this team, just sub Gardin for Bardila, and you might be able to reach 200 million damage. So it's really up to you what you have on your account. But these heroes are very good for this boss. I will not save it, because I still have way more bosses to do. And it's just a new week, so it will reset, so don't worry. So there you have it guys, my free-to-play team and my normal team for the Grishnaar, the Continental boss. I hope you found this video helpful, entertaining. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe, and let me know down below in the comment section which boss is best for you, like which boss are you doing the most damage to. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!